Hello, my name is Sophia, and this is my review and discussion on the Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So this part, I'm just going to give a general synopsis of what happened in the book. It's a contemporary rom-com novel. We have our two main characters, Ethan and Olive, and their siblings, Ethan's brother, Dane, and then Olive's twin sister, Amy. On the day of Amy and Dane's wedding, everybody ends up projectile vomiting because of food poisoning, except for both Ethan and Olive. But Amy already booked a honeymoon for both her and her husband, Dane, but they all can't go because they're all vomiting or in the toilet. So the only option is for Amy's twin sister, Olive, and Dane's brother, Ethan, to go together and go to Hawaii on the honeymoon. And here's the catch. Ethan and Olive don't like each other. For some weird reason, they don't get along. It's a story of nemesis to lovers. So we have them going to Hawaii to pretend to be husband and wife, and then things just escalate from there. It's such a great contemporary rom-com. You could so see it being turned into a movie. I love Christina Lauren's writing. This is the third book I'm reading of theirs. I read Rumi's and Josh and Hazel's Guide to No Dating, but The Unhoneymooners was my favorite. Every other page had me laughing. The banter was great. I loved both the characters. Olive is so relatable. It's just great. So if you haven't read the book, you should probably go and read it and then come back and then you can see what I thought of the book and this whole review discussion on it. Alright, so I love how Amy manages to get everything basically for free. She's the lucky one in the family. She's not the one who got stuck in the claw machine. Amy managed to finance her own wedding for mostly free. Like, how do you do that? Like, Amy, please teach me. Help me pay off my freaking college debt. I'm asking a fictional character to help me. I need help. Oof. To start off with Dane, like I never really thought that he was a great person because the moment we meet him, it's in the groom parlor or the groom suite, whatever it's called, and they're all like getting drunk right before the wedding. Like I get it the night before because we have our bachelor parties and stuff like that before, but like the day of the wedding, like a few hours ahead of time, you're just gonna be drunk while you're standing at the altar. Like I don't know, it doesn't suit me. So I was like, alright, I was a little wary about Dane in the beginning. These people are also from Minnesota, so the moment I see Minnesota, it reminds me of that TikTok. This is how my voice sounds a day in Minnesota. And then you go to like a full like month and it's just, that's all I can think about in Minnesota, because it's probably because I don't have any friends from Minnesota.
I live on the straight East Coast, so.
At the end of the wedding ceremony, you have Ethan coming up to Olive. She starts babbling on about how Ethan hated her ever since she started eating cheese curds in front of him. And I was like, Olive, you might be overthinking things a little bit there. And I didn't think Ethan ever hated her, because Ethan does say then and there, Olive, you sound legitimately insane. It sounded like a misunderstanding of some sort, and nobody ever bothers to clear it up. But it's alright, we love it anyways. At the wedding reception, where Ethan gives the speech, I thought it was really sweet. I thought, okay, he said, I'm the bigger brother, I've done everything first, but Dane found love first. Okay, that was really sweet, I like that. And then Olive gets up there, and she doesn't even bother to like write out her speech or her toast on a sheet of paper. She has it on her phone in notes, and her family just continues to text her. It's like, Olive, your boobs look great up there. And it's just like, it's a great family thing, but it's also like, that's such a distraction while you're up there. It was super funny. When the whole crowd started projectile vomiting, I think I busted out laughing. I don't think I was expecting that graphic of a scene, but the first thing I thought of was the scene from Bridesmaids. They were in their dresses as, oh crap, was going down, holy, ooh. It was just like, I could picture every scene in this book. And then Ethan does say, he's just like, your speech wasn't that bad. And everybody around them is projectile vomiting. You know, I searched up whatever pharmaceutical company Olive worked at, just to make sure like it was an actual pharmaceutical company. It's not. I searched it up. And the thing that comes up on Urban Dictionary, I was like, I understood it then. And I was like, you don't need to search it up. So now Ethan and Olive, they're trying to figure out what to do with the honeymoon. And then Ethan's like, we should just go. And then she's like, together? Mm-hmm. Are you high? Not presently. Brilliant. The best reaction I've heard from anybody, I asked a friend once, are you high? And the best reaction I've gotten from them is, am I high? Or is you low? So Olive plans the plane ride, and then from there we find out that like, oh, maybe Ethan isn't the one planning all these dangerous, like outgoing, outdoorsy trips with Dane, because he's not the best at riding an airplane. So at that point, I don't know, Olive, maybe you should just like, there's like a little flag going on in your head. The banter between them. Throughout this book, the banter between them is glorious. Holy crap. Ethan, I'm a terrible liar. Really? You hit it so well. So what are you up to this afternoon? I'm not asking because I want to hang. Oh, thank God. You think I'm cute. In a gross way. So when Mr. Hamilton walks in, oh, it's such a bad coincidence. The random names they make up for each other. We call her Olivia or Oscar. And then so at one point, she was like, hi, Elijah. And he's like, hi, Oscar. Shut up, Eric. Let me think. The random excuses right before the dinner where she tried to get Ethan out of the picture. She said, oh, I could make it that you died. We went on a, I don't know, diving trip and you just never came back. Oh, great, Olive. She's such an awkward bean. They were trying to figure out a story of how they met, and then she's just like, so yeah, you proposed to me with a ring pop. And I was like, what? And she's like, oh, we smelled like campfire the entire next day, but didn't care because we were so happy and having lots of celebratory tense sex. And then Ethan's like, yeah, we should probably just leave out that last bit. Don't tell your boss that. The dinner scene was fantastic. I thought Ethan was being so sweet, and it just felt genuine coming out of him at that moment. Really liked Molly. It was really fun. And then Sophie comes in the picture, and then she's just like, yeah, this is my fiance. And then Ethan's like, yeah, this is my wife. Look at us, moving on. Them pretending to be a couple in front of them. The awkwardness of Olive trying to sit on Ethan as they were watching Sophie and Brian, is that his name? Make out. It was so awkward and so funny. The whole thing with Sophie, though, is that we find out that Ethan tried a grand gesture and proposed to her on the 4th of July with like fireworks going off and all that. She never said yes. Next day, she like wrote on the whiteboard, yeah, sorry, I gotta go, bye. I was like, really? That's like the worst way. That's worse than a freaking text. It wasn't even dry erase marker. It was a permanent marker. And then Olive says, there's no revenge like being with someone new who has a great rack. She's like, you checked out my chest. Of course I did. It's like having 2 other people up here with us. But I don't want to be rude. The whole boobs thing. Ethan Thomas is definitely a boobs man. And I was like, alright. The bathroom changing scene was brilliant. All I could think about. It was so similar to that one scene from The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Oh my God. And it's insane. And I think it's the most hilarious and awkward stuff ever. Olive says, I want you to know, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, but that was by far the worst sexual experience of my life. I know. I feel like we should have used protection. Paintball was so funny, and those kids were such he flipped him off right before knocking Ethan out of the game. I was like, really, but it doesn't exaggerate how a lot of kids are very competitive and into gaming. Jacuzzi and bathtub scene right afterwards was so sweet, and how they got to know each other more. And this is the first time we hear about Ethan's job, and it sounds just like Chandler's from Friends. It's just like, it has something to do with numbers, you know. What's her job again? It's numbers. And then they have this thing where she's just like, yeah, well, you threw up right after you saw me naked. And Ethan's like, yeah, as if that would be my reaction to seeing you naked, Olive. The massage scene. Oh, it was so good. They were debating on who went first, and Ethan's like, no, you go first. And then she's like, oh my God, Ethan, are you worried about getting a boner on the table? It was so steamy, but it's so awkward and cute. Pets together, don't spread. If you know, you know. Drunk Ethan after their day out with the car was so fun. And that kiss at the end of the chapter. Drunk Ethan goes to like the hotel staff and he's like, you guys want to know a secret? And then like points at Olive and he's just like, I like her. The staff is just like, yeah, I would hope so. She's your wife. Dane is revealed to have open relationships at this point, and I was like, okay, well, he's a jerk from the very beginning. So I understand why Olive would be angry because she has all reasons to, but I also understand why Ethan would back up his brother, and then they decide to just not talk about it and let Amy and Dane deal with that. But I was just like, I hope she dumps him. And that whole thing with Dane telling Ethan to not make a move on Olive was so annoying. I was just like, is it because your girlfriend is an identical twin to your brother's potential future girlfriend that it makes it weird? Like, I thought it was so selfish. Like, Dane's just Dane caught on to the fact that Olive is the one that's typically more bitter, she's more pessimistic. But did you really have to go and say that to Ethan and just make him like self-conscious and not want to talk to her and not want to hang out with her? And that's what started the whole cheese curd freaking miscommunication thing. Anyway, so then they reconcile, and then she's like, did you forget your words, Elvis? And I was like, And then they have sex, and then it's great. The whole jealousy of Sophie thing, I understand where Olive's coming from, but I also thought it was just like, it doesn't seem like Ethan knows what he is doing. It didn't come off as that way. And also probably just had no idea that he was doing anything wrong. Just like, alright, it's just being a normal person. We just don't think that much into it. And that fight was completely natural. And she just overthinking it, as we all have a tendency to do. So Olive's just really relatable as a character. And that apology that he said, she's just like, wow, did some woman send a message to him on that apology? Because that was perfect. The mountaintop scene was so cute. They finally figure out what they want to do in the future once they get back from Hawaii. And then she's just like, I'm thinking. And then he's just like, think out loud with me. Like, this is such a cute line. She's like, even if it is a fling, it doesn't feel, don't say, flung. It's so witty. The dialogue's so nice. So they finally leave Hawaii, and then Amy and Dane see them at the airport kissing, and then they were just like, oh, all right, well, darn, what are we gonna do now? And then Ethan's like, well, we're gonna be together, and so are you guys. And then Dane comes up with this, well, if you ever wanna trade twins sometimes, just let me know. Ha 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 ha. Really? Really? That's just... So then Olive gets fired on her first day at the job because she tells the truth to Mr. Hamilton. I was like, honesty is such a virtue, but like, just society. When nobody believed her that Dane was freaking cheating and consistently doing so, I was like, oh my, like it was so frustrating to read, and I was just waiting for somebody to get it first, and it was Amy, and Amy got it, and she did the most incredible thing. She gathered all the girls that Dane was texting and calling up and hooking up with, and she managed to bring them all to the house, and they had this confrontation where I thought, I hope Dane learns in the future and doesn't try to do it again. And they obviously, they're gonna go through a divorce. Amy, when Dane's other lovers started showing up, she was just like, excuse me, Dane, I'm in the middle of introducing myself to one of your girlfriends. Let's go, Amy. Rooting for you. And then Ethan also shows up, tries to apologize. I'm just like, you couldn't have done this sooner, Ethan. Frick you. That big old dramatic restaurant ending was perfect. It was such a sweet, grand gesture. And they had everybody come in. Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton were there. All of the family were there. It was great. Ethan comes out, and then he's pulling off his clothes. And then she's like, no, don't strip. And then he's wearing the Skittle dress. And there's this one scene right before they go on the snorkeling trip where she says she should have something fashioned for him out of that Skittle dress. And he doesn't. It's not using her Skittle dress, but it's using one of the other bridesmaids' Skittle dresses. Like, I tried to search up what a Skittle dress would look online. They look great as Halloween costumes, but maybe not the best for wedding colors. Oh, it's so cute. And they kiss and recounts at the end, and then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you another chance. And then we have the epilogue where they go back to Hawaii, and you have Amy with one of Ethan's friends, and they seem really happy together and really happy. And then you have the ending where Ethan's getting ready to grand gesture to Olive, and it's on the beach, and then Olive just goes and ruins the moment completely.
She's like, oh my god, this is a good picture of us, but this is exactly the kind of vacation photos people in Minnesota put on their mantle in shell-encrusted frames to remind themselves of the sunshine when we were in the deepest pit of winter. How many Minnesotans do you think get engaged on the beach? Like 80%, 90?
What total? And it's great because Ethan like completely is like shocked. He's like brain dead. He's like, okay, what do I do now? And then she's like, oh shit. Oh, Ethan, oh shit. No, it's okay. You weren't, were you? Am I that big an asshole? No, but no, I don't, it is, oh, I'm such a dick that I've broken your brain. She's like, I am such a dick that I've broken your brain. Oh. It's one of the funniest lines I think I've ever read. I just remember reading that. I was in my bed, I was cracking up. I am such a dick that I've broken your brain. Oh, Ethan, poor Ethan. But then all is alright because Olive comes back around and she's just like, so Ethan, I was thinking the other day, I found this really, really ugly dress. And I was like, yes! I was like, yes! And then he pulls out the ring, and then Ollie's crying. And then he's like, are you crying? And she's like, no. He was like, are you sure? And she's like, yes. It looks like you might. Shut up. Will you marry me, Oscar Olivia Torres? And she's like, yes. Oh, the proposal was perfect. Overall, this book was so great. I loved this book. I thought it was so sweet. It was one of the best contemporaries I've read. Such a feel-good novel. Every chapter had me laughing at least like twice. All of Olive's inner thoughts were so relatable. Her inability to lie gets me every time. So tell me what you guys thought in the comments down below. Tell me what were some of your favorite parts. Some of mine have definitely got to be the bathroom scene. I don't think I've cracked up that hard. And then the ending proposal scene was absolutely great. It was such a good rom-com. Like, this would be such a great great movie. I pictured everything in my head. It was that kind of book. Give the video a like if you did like it, subscribe. I usually do song covers and music stuff. This is my main channel is right here, so you can click here. But this is a channel that I'll be doing more reviews and stuff and vlogs. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!